Alrighty.
Yeah.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Fantastic. The artist formerly known as Prince once said that each day is a new beginning. I'm Leslie Oliver Karpus, co-founder and president of Lexset, where we're bringing a new beginning to computer vision. Computer vision is a massive market, as every device in the world that has a camera and a microprocessor is running some form of computer vision AI now and will be definitely in the immediate future. AI's dirty little secret, though, that people don't talk about is that it takes thousands, if not tens of thousands of human hours and human labor to prepare data sets for AI consumption. So much so that a recent Economist article says that the data annotation market for computer vision is a $5 billion space. Last year, Founders Fund gave $100 million to Scale API for a $1 billion valuation, being one of the latest unicorns in the valley. The traditional way to train computer vision systems is very painful. It starts with the collection of photographs either from open source data sets or manually captured by photographers. Those are then sent to annotation workforces, i.e. click farms in Southeast Asia, Africa, to be tagged, labeled, and for all the objects in those photos to be traced in a very slow and painful process. Then AI models are trained and then evaluated, and then based on the lack in performance, that process is restarted. Before an AI is deployable, a few $100,000 have been spent and 6 months to a year has been burned, all for something that's subpar because human error gets its way into the data. People make mislabels, the photographs are taken by humans, those humans are taking pictures in similar lighting conditions. There are all kinds of problems with this process. And if you don't know the importance of having your own data set, take a look at the lawsuit that Princeton slapped Facebook with last week for training a commercial product off of their open source data. We have a better way to do it. Lexset has built a synthetic data engine that can procedurally generate thousands and thousands of scenes instantaneously, all composed with rules based on what we feed the system. We can then train a model and evaluate it quite rapidly, and then create new data as needed. This process takes days or weeks instead of months or years. The benefits of synthetic data are multifold. First off, and most importantly, it's a way to reduce model bias, reduce data bias by creating sufficient data diversity within a given data set. Second, the annotations that come out of our system are 100% accurate because we know what all of the simulation information is on the way in, so we know what it all is on the way out. And this means that you can have more data faster for less money. The way our pipeline works is we have a library of hundreds of thousands of 3D assets that are then placed in algorithmically generated scenes. We then create the annotations as simply as switching the rendering pipeline from those scenes. This allows us to do things very easily, like complex annotations that would normally take a human a long time. It allows us to do things that humans could never do, like simulated LiDAR or simulated depth. And we have cracked the overfitting problem in synthetic data, meaning that we have figured out how to render images in a physically accurate way so that they can fool an AI into thinking that they're real life. A few case studies from actual clients that we have. We've worked with a couple of robot vacuum cleaner companies, helping them work on obstacle floor and not floor, providing them data that is free of GDPR or CCPA concerns because it wasn't taken from actual people's homes, it was synthetically generated. And we can give that to them with environment maps that help them plan how their robots move through space. Mining OEM sent us a collection of their manufacturing CAD of their drill bits that we were able to use to produce a drill bit recognizer that was 99% accurate. And an InsurTech recently sent us a bunch of spherical camera data that we were able to extract measurements from. And so that was a really interesting development in and of itself. We're specifically focused on synthetic data applications that happen indoors and around objects, as opposed to the rest of the market that is currently focusing on autonomous vehicles. So that means that we're very much focused on service robotics, planogram and retail, like cashierless checkout, industrial QA, and most importantly for us right now is mixed reality, and we're working with some major players in the mixed reality space. This funnel shows you some of our current partners and some of our engineering projects. The way that we price is through a data subscription we call TDAS, or Training Data as a Service, where we set up deals to support an AI team for a number of months, providing them with on-demand access to data as they need it during that time period. In 2019, we did about $275,000 in revenue and are on pace to beat that this year. We are currently starting conversations for a priced round this fall. Let me tell you about some of our partners and awards. We've raised 1.7
Just
million.
just
Sure.
quickly, yeah.
We've raised 1.7 million to date, with $250,000 on top in non-dilutive prize money coming from Verizon for being one of the winners of their Built on 5G challenge. We also won 4 other pitch competitions last year, including Augmented World Expo, GS1 Connect, which is the barcode conference, receiving the People's Choice Award at the O'Reilly AI conference, as well as winning DataCon LA. We were originally started by Intellectual Ventures when they hired me as an entrepreneur in residence to commercialize this patent portfolio of 39 assets, of which we have enforcement rights that were invented by Bill Gates, Satya Nadella, and Nathan Myhrvold. And we have been through the XRC Labs and R Lab Accelerator programs. With that, I would love your questions.
Feedback. This is fantastic. One of the main problems is getting the training the data sets and then having the bias in the data sets and then generating them rapidly. So this is really, really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with Marissa. I love your idea about training data there. It's, yeah, you have something, you're onto something really exciting.
Hey, hi, this is Neil. Would you mind sending me a note so that we can do a little bit deep dive into this?
I'd love to. Sunil, how do I reach you?
You can reach in private chat.
Yes.
Okay.
As for now, yeah, you can exchange your mails there and
that is
follow
correct. Let me see if I can find you on LinkedIn. Okay, thank you.
So, as far as I understand, you're now looking for the lead investor for your next round?
We just closed a round in February, but because of COVID and the current state of the economy, we're starting conversations for our priced round this fall a little bit earlier than we would normally. And so, you know, we're in the getting to know you stage. But if somebody wants to preempt that round early, we're not going to complain.
Can you share how COVID impacted your company? And
sure. So if anything, COVID has helped us because it means that collecting manual data is more difficult. So it's harder to pay a photographer to go capture data in the real world right now, versus we can just synthetically generate any real world situation. And we were already a distributed team, so that has not really disrupted our flow at all. I'm in Los Angeles, we're headquartered in Brooklyn, and our third co-founder is in Seattle. And so it's more or less business as usual, with the exception of we've seen an uptick in inbound demand since the pandemic started.